This is the plaintiff, Steve. He says he did a tile job for the defendant, and one of his guys spilled something on one of his plants, and the defendant turned it into a federal case. That cheapskate deducted $411 from his bill for a $25 plant. So he put a lien on the guy's house because he was cheated. Then 3 years after the job, the defendant lied about him on a social media website. He suffered irreparable harm to his reputation and business, and because of that, he's suing the defendant for defamation to the tune of $10,000. This is the defendant, Gary Kane. He says his review of the plaintiff's work is truthful and accurate, and the guy's overreacting, big time. Was the description of the plaintiff's work unflattering? Yes. But did he defame him? No. He thinks the judge will agree, and he'll walk out of here with a smile on his face, because he's gonna win, and the plaintiff's gonna go home with nada. He's accused of spreading lies.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, you've asked to be referred to only as Steve?
Yes.
Steve, you are suing on behalf of your company, which is a flooring company, the homeowner, Mr. Kane, for $10,000 that you say you are owed for the balance of tile work, attorney's fees you feel you were inappropriately ordered to pay, and defamation of character. So he hires you to do what in his house?
To install travertine tile in a shower and jacuzzi bathtub surround.
So you start the job and it becomes a little high maintenance with his wife.
Nancy Kane would come in after we'd install a dozen or so tiles saying, no, that tile does not belong next to that tile.
Because of the color? Because of the variations in color? Or?
Who knows?
All right, in any event, you go above and beyond, according to
Yes.
your description in the complaint, to try to satisfy a very picky customer.
Yes.
So then when the job is over, then what happened?
I knocked on the door. Nancy Kane answered. She was extremely livid, just ballistic about something in the front yard. So she takes me around there. She shows me one plant that had some thin set on it.
Why would the plant have thin set on it?
Right. One of the installers were cleaning up the day before, and they were rinsing out their mixed bucket, and they took about a half a gallon. Well, they took about a half gallon of water, and they poured it in the dirt in the front yard. And at the bottom of this bucket, there was about a handful of thin set that touched one of her plants. And
I'm sure I'm going to hear it described differently from that side.
Okay.
Right?
I apologized immediately, said, let me clean this up. I grabbed the garden hose to rinse it off. 2 minutes of rinsing off this plant, Your Honor, it'd be totally clean. She turns off the hose. She doesn't allow me to clean it. But we left that morning without getting paid 1 cent for the 2 weeks worth of work we did. And she calls the cops and accuses us of vandalizing her property.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No.
You folks called the cops on the contractor for vandalism?
If he says so.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I
Did
wasn't.
you call?
I
Okay,
wasn't,
did
I
your
wasn't
wife?
there.
You know the facts of this
I do
case.
believe my wife called the police. Yes.
Your wife called the police because a contractor rinsed cement. Where do you guys live that there's no crime and such a call would be made? I'm serious. Where do you live?
She felt that there needed to
Do you
be
know what
something on
vandalism
record.
means? It means it's on purpose.
It was never on purpose.
It's an
Your Honor.
intentional desire to destroy your property. It's not, I intentionally rinsed my thing. It's an intentional desire to destroy your property. Go ahead. What did the police do?
It was accidental.
Did the police
they
come?
left. There was no report. They did come. They saw that it was a non-event, and they drove off.
Okay.
No report.
What ends up happening?
I look over the receipt, what she had sent me. It's all the most expensive plan on the list is $25. Fine. Let's deduct the $25 from the $438 due. You owe me $411. Pay me right now. There's no reason not to.
They don't, so you file a small claims case?
No. I attempted a small claims case, but it was in the wrong jurisdiction. So that got set aside. I got caught up in my business. I did have time to put the mechanics lien on the property.
Let's talk about the mechanics lien. Have you ever filed a mechanics lien before?
No, 34 years in business, no.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's a bad thing in terms of whether you know how to do it, but it's a good thing in terms of whether you've ever had to do it.
Yes.
All right, so now a mechanics lien, in essence, it's you filing a document with the courts saying, and what it does is it puts a lien on the property. So if he tries to sell it or finance it or whatever else, he's got to deal with you. You can't just get rid of the property. You file the mechanics lien. There's a series of nasty letters back and forth. Let's see the letters that went between you guys back and forth. If thinset touched one plant, why were you deducting for an entire 15-foot flower bed?
Your Honor, I was not deducting anything. The contract that Steve had was with the handyman. There was never a contract between myself.
Did you have is the handyman a general contractor or a handyman?
He's a general contractor on this job, yes.
All right, and then so
Unlicensed.
So who's the person who decided to deduct the money for the budget? You don't blame it on him. You're the homeowners who said, I'm gonna.
The person who paid Steve was the general contractor.
Mr. Kane, whose decision was it to withhold money for the flower bed?
I will tell you that there was plant damage. I will tell you that my wife discussed the plant damage with the general contractor. I will tell you that my wife got an estimate from a professional plant company as to what that repair would be.
So the
and
statement,
we gave that information to the general
you folks
contractor.
as homeowners decided that you didn't want to pay because you felt that they had damaged $483 or $400 whatever dollars worth of flower bed. You have to argue with me on that?
Most of that damage was soil remediation cost, labor, and so forth. The plant damage, if I remember correctly, and I'd have to look, but was about $125, but the other $300 was soil remediation.
What's soil remediation? Take out that soil, put in new soil?
Yeah, the labor to do that, to remediate the soil. I'm not a plant expert.
Did you ever pay to do that? Show me proof you paid to do that.
I have no proof that we did pay
Because
to do
you
that.
didn't, right?
Not yet.
How long ago did this happen?
Oh, 3 years
But
ago.
I can show you what the plant bed looks like currently.
Let me see
We
that.
can't grow plants there.
Let me see it.
That picture was taken just a week or two ago, and after a lot of time and money spent trying to put plants there, they just
I'm
won't
sorry.
grow.
No one could afford $400 to fix the plant bed in 3 years?
My wife likes to do the plantings herself. I recommended to her that she just hire these people to do the remediation.
What's the remediation?
But
Just
she
remove the
likes
soil,
to-
put in the soil. She could even do that herself.
She likes to do that. She's tried.
The first thing that happens, you file the mechanic lien. What
Correct.
date do you file the mechanic lien?
It was in the middle of July,
Date.
and it was actually registered, I believe, on August 8th,
August 8th of what year?
2011.
Okay. And then what do you do when you receive the mechanic lien?
I researched the rules on mechanics liens, and I discovered that after a certain period of time passes, nothing's actionable anymore.
Okay. So you research that, and then what do you do?
I simply let the time periods expire so that the mechanics lien was null and void.
So at some point, you wait the 90 days out from August to the 90 days?
Yeah, I actually think I waited 6 months, but it doesn't matter, yes.
So you wait a period of time. Did you know
Your
that you
Honor,
have 90 days after you file the lien to file a foreclosure
I was
action?
not aware of that. This is the first time in 34 years I had to
But you know
file a
now,
mechanics
right?
lien. I know now, yes.
Oh, you know now.
But
Because
Your
don't
Honor,
you? Because what ends up happening? You wait the 6 months, you want the lien off, so you end up hiring a lawyer.
Mechanics
and the
lien
lawyer
dismissed.
charged you how much? $1,100?
$1,100.
All right, and so that lawyer went to court, and and how do you perfect service on him for that lawsuit?
I left everything to the lawyer at that point. I was out of it.
So according to you, you don't get served with that lawsuit.
never got served at all. We were moving at the time. I never got a postcard from the post office. nothing.
Just a second. That's what happened, is that the mailing was sent to your last known address, which is legitimate. It has, you're the one who has to make sure you get your mail forwarded. But in any event, according to you, you don't know. So you don't do anything. When do you, and what happens for you in court is 90 days passed. In fact, many months had passed. He did not file the foreclosure action, which you have to do according to this statutory scheme to perfect your mechanics lien. So the judge appropriately said, too bad, so sorry, end of mechanics lien. And then, according to the mechanics lien, awards you the $1,100 that you paid the lawyer, because that's also part of the mechanics lien.
That's correct.
That's why you got to know what you're doing when you mess around with court. All right. So you then find out how that he has a judgment against you.
I get a call from a representative at the Contractor State License Board saying, Steve, this is in November of 2012, about a year and a half after the project, saying, Steve, did you know your license was suspended? It's like, you got to be kidding. What's this about? What's going on?
Do you remember when you got your judgment?
Yeah, that was awarded around the very end of March of 2012.
Okay, so between March and November, you apparently continue to do research and discover that in your state, when there's a judgment that's not paid, you can have his license revoked by sending that unpaid judgment to a regulatory department. So You then learn for the first time about his lawsuit, according to you, when you get a call from the regulatory board telling you your license is suspended, and there's only one way for you to reinstate your license, and that's what?
I ran to the bank, got a cashier's check, Federal expressed it. Within an hour, it was resolved. And the next
Because
day,
you
my
paid
license.
the attorney's fees.
The next day, my license
The judgment was
reinstated.
entirely for the attorney's fees, so
Correct.
you paid the attorney's fees.
Right.
All right. So there's 3 things you're suing for. Let's talk about the third thing that you were suing for is defamation of character.
Yes.
Let us talk about that.
Yes, Your Honor. I've got 3 jobs we should have had in the last 5 weeks that we bid on and did not get directly as a result of the lies that Gary Kane posted on Yelp.
Just
about
now?
me.
Because he posted those things a long time ago.
5 weeks ago.
You
after
posted,
after
just a second.
3
Just
years.
wait, hold on. You posted negative feedback 5 weeks ago. It's not enough for you to win. You need to. Why don't you go to his house and kidnap his children too?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, seriously, there's something demented about this. It's not enough that you messed with his license. You got your attorney's fees. You won. You got you kept your $400. Now you turn around. You also you can't. There's no moment in your life where you just say, okay, this is bad for my blood pressure. Never with you.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if you gave a really, really harsh opinion about a contractor on Yelp, could he sue you for defamation?
No, because that's what Yelp is for, to explain what you went through.
But can you say anything you want? Can you say anything on Yelp?
I think so.
So you can be as harsh as you want.
Well, I think it's their prerogative to sue you if they feel like it's harmed their...
But would they win? I mean, if you
Probably
give your
not.
opinion, you don't think they'd win?
No.
Why?
Well, if it was found that what was said was truthful, then definitely they couldn't win.
Fair point. And the other's just opinion. Going inside the courtroom.
So now what you did was you turn around on Yelp and you put some negative feedback. Let's talk about what the negative feedback is. And then over,
Yes.
let me see.
I'm losing thousands every month that his lies are online about my company, Your Honor. Your Honor, my reputation's all I've got. Now,
What it boils down to is there anything he said that was a lie?
Yes.
So okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't
So
gotten a
let's
chance to
go
respond.
through. Let's go through. Now
Yes.
you have to understand, lies have to be factual, not
Yes.
opinion.
Right.
He could say you're a grotesque ogre, and you may not be a grotesque ogre, but the person who hears the word grotesque ogre knows that this is opinion and not fact. They don't really think you're Shrek. Right? They know it's hyperbole, it's an opinion. So let's go over what he said. First, I'm going to read it out loud, then we're going to dissect it. Total nightmare. Steve, and then your last name, turned a small, easily negotiable disagreement
Right there.
into a vicious legal battle. Steve didn't pay the court's judgment against him until his contractor's license got suspended, at which point he did pay and his license was reinstated. Not a fun experience. Not a fun experience. That's opinion. We're not going to quibble
Let's
about
go
that.
back to
so let's go
vicious-
back to the one you hate. Steve turned a small, easily negotiable disagreement into a vicious legal battle.
Your Honor, a battle is when 2 opponents show up to fight each other. I was never there because I didn't know this was happening. How can you call that a vicious legal battle? That's completely wrong.
Let me hear from you.
It was easily, Your Honor, I don't enjoy going through this. I
think you do.
I've
I
never,
think you do.
Please look
I
at
think
my
you do.
record. I've never done anything like this in my life. and
I
hope
know, that's
never
why
to
you found it so
again.
much fun. It was very titillating. All right, we're done. I can't listen to either one of you anymore. I want to say a few things. You have many problems in your legal battle that are insurmountable for you. So even though I find them difficult and annoying, I am still going to end up ruling against you. Because my hands are tied legally on most of this. As for the $1,100 that was paid to the attorney, you are totally dead and out of gas, as you must know, having discussed it with your lawyer. Because on the merits, you didn't perfect your lien like you're supposed to. So you're not going to get the $1,100. The next thing that you're suing for is a defamation of character. And I know defamation when I see it. This is replete with opinion. It's opinion. And I cannot tell a man that he can't express his opinion. I just can't. So your defamation case is out the window. So the case that we have left, interestingly enough, is the $411 for the balance of the tile work. And what we have is someone who is so intent on winning this that they would actually prefer for that flower bed to look bad for the picture to be able to present in court.
Correct.
Than to actually spend
Right.
the
2 minutes
$400
cleaning up the
to
mess.
fix it. And they haven't even spent the $400 to fix it. And who knows why. I think $400, put your hand down. I think $400 is a little hefty. I think 400 is a little hefty. I agree that I think that the soil has, but this is not a big deal. I could do this in an afternoon. You buy the plants, you get the soil, and it gets done. I am going to order you to pay of the 411. I'm going to order $250 to be the amount to get soil, pull out the soil, replace the plants, which I do believe needed doing. And I am going to order you to pay the remaining $161 to Steve. That is my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, here comes the plaintiff. All right, good. Come on in here. All right, well, you got 160 and change. How good did that feel to get that?
Well, not too good. Most people are reasonable, intelligent. You can certainly work out any issues, and some people are just real stubborn. But,
Yeah, defamation, very, very difficult to prove and collect on in the court.
I like your hair a lot better than Doug Llewellyn's. So,
Okay.
yes.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, head right back there. Yeah, so come on in here. How are you feeling coming out of the courtroom here?
I'm pleased.
Yeah, with this decision?
Yes.
How about the way you look? I mean, you got called everything in the book from difficult to a jerk to crazy, and still?
Obviously, I don't like that, and I don't think it reflects my
the way
true
you
personality, but...
The way you look to the public in this case?
In this case, I assume that's how I looked.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, here's the deal. Opinions are almost never the basis for a defamation lawsuit. You have to really state it as fact and then damage the person with that lie.